Welcome in, everybody. 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. We are kicking off the recharge week. So every time, once a year, I try to go take, 4, 5, 6 days, wander off into the middle of nowhere and collect my thoughts. And so this past week was actually that time on the shores of Lake Superior. They call it the North Shore there in Minnesota. Just absolutely gorgeous. A little bit of a bug problem. I got mosquito bites everywhere, almost like I was camping. I was not, but it was like that. So much moisture as a great time. But when I go up there, anywhere, anytime I go away, what I try to do is find focus. And many of you who follow me for a while know that I'm obsessed with water, whether it's a waterfall, whether it's water in general. It's for me, it's a place where I can just really quiet the mind and cleanse it out. And so that happened. It was very cleansing. It was very cool in that way. And what sucks is I kind of went in a little bit of a cold streak, if you will, from a business perspective. We had a couple of deals go sideways, a couple of things not go our way. Some gains we had made, we sort of given back. And so as business goes, as things happen, that's what you deal with. So you find a way to overcome it. And when I go on these sort of, as I call them, the recharges, it's an opportunity for me to rethink what I was doing, how I was approaching it, where my time is spent, where it isn't spent, how does it need to be spent better, etc. And so I'm always constantly trying to tweak and find ways, and that's what we've always done here at CarBiz. Is that's the only way I think we've all survived as long as we have with as small of a crew as we have, is that we just continually fine tweak, get our ways, put ourselves in position to have success with limited number of people involved. And so recently we've sort of added to that number. And that's different for any operator, I think. And this is the same way when I was running dealerships. You're responsible for other people's livelihood, right? Their own family, their own everything. And so it's me and my wife, and that's it. But when I say that, I kind of forget the fact that people work with us, that we're responsible for that, for the income, for the opportunity to work somewhere, right? The company is what pays people. And so that really kind of was big on my mind over the last week. That sort of a stress, I suppose, a word to use. I call it more of a motivation, more of a reason to always figure out a way to succeed because more people are involved, more people have been involved. So I take that even more seriously from that perspective, how that sort of fuels my next thought, where I want to go with things. But the the thing that struck me the most going into the recharge, as I said, on a little bit of a cold streak, was that the first day or two I kind of spent in that cold streak. I kind of spent frustrated because I had gotten news of yet more just broken deals and things of that nature, like right in like day one. And I was trying not to check my phone, but as my business partner joked with me, hey, at least you waited till breakfast of the first morning you were gone. And I checked the phone first morning of breakfast, and I found yet again, as I said, another deal that had fallen apart that we had just added. And our business is so weird like that. It's so cyclical because you're either with us for multiple years or you're with us for less than 6 months. It's the craziest. It's the craziest thing. It's like commitment phobia. It's like you get the 5 months, you're like, I can't do this anymore. But then you're into a commitment, you're like, oh, I can't stop, right? Those of you who maybe like me used to have a gym membership, maybe didn't go all the time, right? That sort of level of long-standing commitment. But anyways, so I thought to myself, all right, we're not going to spend the rest of our time being like this because deals come and go. They will always. Part of being an entrepreneur, part of being in sales, part of doing anything where you have to eat what you kill. This is always going to be part of the game. A turnover happens. We are fortunate, beyond fortunate to have the client dedication and base that we have for what we do. It's absolutely, I started to put that in context, and that really helped me sort of get out of a funk, to start with, because that's no way to live. I don't want to live that way. I don't need to live that way. And it's not about personal income. It's about, like I said, the income of the company that provides for other people. Myself, I'm going to be fine. If I stop working tomorrow, I'm going to be fine. I'm fortunate that way. I've been in the car business my whole life. I've been with my wife now over 20 years. As a matter of fact, I joked with her on this trip because it happens on my birthday, that this birthday is now officially her and I have been hanging out longer together than I was hanging out by myself. That's pretty cool. But because of her, I'm fortunate that yeah, this isn't necessarily about what Sean's going to do for his income. Sean probably doesn't even pay himself what most people probably be appalled to see what I pay myself, given how successful our company is. But that's because I want the company to be successful. I've been fortunate in my life to do well, always. But that's from hard work, being in the car business, being dedicated, being in sales, being an entrepreneur. All those things in time have upside. They don't start that way. And that's another thing I reminded myself on the recharge. We didn't wake up this way. It's been 11 years in the process of hiring people and getting ourselves to this level and getting our revenue to this level. It's 11 years. Most people would not have been, I don't think, as patient to get to where we are in 11 years. I think most people, and I included, expected it to happen the first 11 days, 11 weeks, maybe 11 months, right? Here I am 11 years later, realizing goals that I had set out from the beginning. So it's different for me in that way. It's very different. And I am here for it. I am here for it. I am here for the idea that we evolve and we change. And I think that has got to be the point of all of this. And again, as I sit there, I'm staring out at Lake Superior and I'm just thinking to myself, it's endless. If you dropped me here and I didn't know where I was, I couldn't tell you I was on the cliff of an ocean or a cliff of a lake. It was that amazing. It was that surreal, but it was that endlessness that reminds me that unfortunately this particular journey of ours here on earth is not endless. And so how do I want to best spend my time? How do I want to be the best version of me? And so that sort of overwhelming feeling kind of took over in the latter part of the trip, and it just turned into be this amazing time of getting out, recharging. I put out a video last Friday about standing up on this beautiful vista overlooking Lake Superior up there in Minnesota. It was beautiful, and in these hikes, in these moments, I'm reminded how fortunate I am to have carved out the life that I have carved out. Didn't get here by accident. It's a lot of work, but it's work that I put in knowing that if I did it my way, I would be better off. And I know that there's a lot of other things. I mean, geez, while I was on this trip, I realized there's a lot of other things going on in our industry right now. Obviously, all the stuff with the CDK breachment, all of that, it's all crazy. It's nuts to think about. But much like other things, I got to stay in my lane, right? I got to do what I can do. That's going to affect our team on the data side, but I can't go in and fix it. And I don't necessarily have an opinion on ransomware. To all my car girls and guys, I feel terrible. But it seems like from what I'm seeing, a lot of people are being forced to go old school. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. But no, it was weird in this time of disconnection when this major thing was happening in our industry. And there's so much fervor and discussion and this and this and this that I sort of was like, wow, I really realized where my lane is, which is hard for me. Anyone who knows me knows that I think every lane's mine because I think, much like the name of my company, I think I have a twist on most things. I think I will give a different perspective on most things. And so, yeah, I would recommend anytime you get a chance to go out and get away. And trust me, you're taking this from someone who lives and dies by their cell phone. But here's what happens. So like day 3, day 4, when I've stopped really being involved in my phone, I'm just really embracing where I am, really engaging the moments at which I'm having here, right? I realize that I'm now on the other side of the phone thing. And what I mean by that is I'm like, well, now I don't really need the phone. Now here I am, 2 days, a day removed. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I can just not be on my phone tomorrow. Tomorrow I wake up, I got a full day. I got calls from 8 to 6 o'clock. It's a full day. It's going to be insane. But I think I've got to find a way to get better. And I think if you went back and you watched this show from a year ago, I'd probably say the same fucking thing. And that's the problem with me, is that I can cure most things, but if I don't, I just continue to repeat the cycle. And so that was, again, lesson learned. Saw it happen in front of me and thought to myself, okay, I've got to get better. So that's what I use my recharge time for. So I would recommend it any chance you get, go out and do it. But if you're going to do it right. Really take in how you feel, what you're seeing, what your thoughts are about it, because you want it to represent you. You want it to represent what you're trying to get better at. Don't just waste the time being in a shitty mood or waste the time thinking about other things you cannot change. You should get there Think about you. Think about what you can't change. All right. That is the recharge week. Join me next week. I want to talk to you about service. And I don't mean fixed operations. I mean customer service. You know how it is when you go on these sort of trips. You see, you go to these resort towns, and you see how it handles. I'm really intrigued on some of the things I saw. We'll talk to you next week about it. Go out, have yourselves a wonderful rest of yours.